Well. All the traders are expecting a market crash. Let me make my face a bit bigger for you guys so we can talk and have a little chat about what's happening at the moment with the markets. And then we'll get to the charts and we'll have a look at what's going on for next week. Market analysis for the week. I'll also show you trade of the day, trade of the week. We're going to go through all the trades for next week and let's have a look at what's going on. But in the 30 years that I've been trading, I've seen a lot of these situations where everybody's calling for the market crash, everybody's calling for the end of the world. And the world's not ending just yet. When they see the smallest thing, doom and gloom sets in, and everybody starts to panic. And particularly when the markets are kind of expensive and kind of looking overpriced. It's the supermarket mentality that kicks in at the end of the day, and it starts to affect people in a rather strange way. Let me take my mug out of the way, and let's go and have a look at the market analysis for the week. Let's go and see what trades we can take. Let's go and have a look at what trades we had last week and how things are going. But this is a weekly analysis. This is not a daily analysis. Keep that in mind. When I look at this, let's just have a look at what happened last week. And hopefully, let me just make sure that you guys can see what's going on here. So I'm just going to put my mug a little bit further to the left. Let me put my picture up there so you can actually see what's going on down here. What we want to see is what's going on a little bit further down here. I've put a trailing stop on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Not going to help us over the weekend. I don't normally hold trades for the weekend, but I've been holding this New Zealand dollar, US dollar for a couple of weeks now, just in the offing that it's going to go up. But the history is simple. Last week, Euro, US dollar, we got out at Great British Pound, Japanese yen was the previous week. Then we got up. Brent was a stop out in profit. Euro CAD was stop out in profit, $79. I mean, even if we were scalping, we would have made those profits anyway. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar was a break-even stop. The one Japanese yen, that was also a stopped in profit, trailing stop, decent profit. And then Euro, US dollar, same thing, a trailing stop at $260 profit. Then US 500 closed on Friday late because the opinion on my side was we're not going to hold this over the weekend. It did nothing all week and then it started to lose, started to go down. The stop loss is at 6,000 anyway, so we just got out early with a view to not losing $240, rather losing $120. US 500 is out. I don't hold indexes long over weekends, so that was last week. And that's how we went last week. Not too bad. Not the end of the world, could have been better. On this account, what we've got here, Euro US dollar, is most certainly still a buy. Even though we've got this red candle here, it's above this trend resistance and it's looking like it wants to go to the upside. So I would stay with the buy on the Euro US dollar. Same going for the Great British Pound US dollar, looking very similar as well. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's above the, see if you draw the trend resistance in through here nicely, you can see she's clearly above that and looking to move to the upside. The big thing was last week we were calling the US dollar, Canadian dollar as a sell, and I'm actually still calling it as a sell. If I look at, I'm going to show you in a moment, I'm going to show you all the trades, but if I look at my call was to sell this. And even though there's a green candle lying here, I'm looking at next week as maybe it'll come up, take the money here and continue on to the downside. That's a huge red candle on a weekly chart. Do keep in mind, this is a weekly chart that we're looking at. We're looking at trades for the week. So the US dollar, Canadian dollar, we're going to remain short on. The Euro, Great British Pound is also still short, by the way, but not good risk to reward. It's very close to the support level. Gold, on the other hand, gold tends to be just going straight up. It's coffee with Rob, so I'm going to have some coffee. Gold is just continuing its run straight up. I'm just going to move my picture out of the way here. Mind you, it's okay there, eh? So you guys can see what's going on. That's just fine. I just want to make sure that my ugly mug is not in the way and you can actually see what's going on the chart here. But anyway, don't forget, guys, just by the way, while I'm here, don't forget, trading is risky and most traders lose money. If you're unsure, you probably shouldn't even be trading. Just thought I'd bring that up for you guys. It's really important that you understand that and you know that. Trading is a 50-50 game. Win rates don't matter. just keep that in mind. It's all about the strategy. It's all about the stop loss strategy that you've got to follow, and win more on your wins and lose less on your losses. As I'm showing you this on the weekly charts, the markets are closed. This is a weekend rundown, and this is a rundown for the week, as you know. So we're going over this for next week. This is gold, and as you know, gold is in a bullish phase at the moment. You cannot call this short. You cannot say it's going to turn around. That's supermarket mentality. The reality is it's long. The reality is it hasn't broken structure and it is still long. 3,000 is a round figure. Remember, I always tell you guys, round figures are really, really important. So keep that in mind. 3,000 might hit the 3,000 and correct a little bit and then continue on the upside. So gold is very bullish. And I showed you earlier, we had the US 500 trade. Now, the only reason I got out of it is because I don't like to keep trades on an index over the weekend that are long. I prefer my trades on the indexes to be short if I keep them over the weekend, because what can go so gargantuanly good over the weekend that you wake up on Monday morning broke? But things can go wrong in the opposite direction. Things can happen over the weekend that can cause markets to crash down rather immensely, especially when people are running around panicking and talking about the end of the world for market. Do be careful. The US 500, but it's still in its structure. So in other words, I would still look to buy this on Monday morning if we get a green candle going to the upside. I think a buy on this would be very good. While we're going through the charts, guys, let's have a quick look at the news, just out of interest, because I do believe that that might be some interest to some people, maybe not all of us. There we go. There's the news. That's what we're looking for. Now, let me just make sure that I'm sure we'll be okay here if my face is just lying in the way just a little bit. So anyway, here's the trade of the week, guys. Trade of the week. These are the trades that we're taking this week. If you want to screenshot this, keep an eye on it, or just save this part of the video. This is the trade of the week that we're taking this week. These are all the trades. We'll go back to the charts now and we'll just go over that. And then on the news, judge delivers blow to Trump's DI push, largely blocks order. Supreme Court declines let Trump fire federal watchdog, so on, so on, so on. On the financial side, to see if there's anything here. Financial news, I'll tell you what, thought Yahoo was free. Anyway, there we go. What's happening here? The tariffing is going to be interesting. Would Tesla Nissan mashup make sense? Oh my goodness. Tesla joining Nissan, imagine that. Block shares sink most. PepsiCo and Coca-Cola on diversity programs. I'm actually invested in Coca-Cola. So this is your news, guys. Morgan Stanley eases diversity emphasis in annual report. Most of the news is not good for South Africa at the moment. We're having a tough time here. And actually, our government's actually held off the budget speech until next month. Looks like the portfolio dropped slightly, but no big deal. Nvidia is still okay. Coke's still okay. Nah, it's all good. Everything is looking just fine. Let's go back to the charts. Let's get on with the calls for the week and see where we stand. Calls for the week. So that was the US 500. The Germany 30 is not much different. It's still long. It's bounced all the way up and it's continuing on to the long side. I don't see this coming down anytime soon. So that looks very bullish. I still remain very bullish on the markets. I got to tell you guys, it's not weak at all. I am, however, looking at oil as a bit of a sell. If I look at oil, look at these tails. Look at these huge long tails coming down. Coffee with Rob. Let's have some coffee. Look at these huge long tails coming down here, causing havoc, heading to the downside. This to me looks like it's going to continue on down to the 70. On Brent, I'll actually call it a bit of a short. UK 100, yeah, you can actually start calling it a sell now. But you need it to break through this trend support here and maybe even this demand level down here on the weekly. And then it will give you a little bit more of a signal to the downside, let's say, telling you that it's heading in that direction. I wouldn't just short the UK 100. It might be a little bit too early. The Nikkei, while it's still short in general, does have levels here that it can bounce off of. So do keep that in mind when you're looking at the Nikkei. My trade of the week is the Aussie dollar, US dollar, or even the New Zealand dollar, US dollar would do fine. There is a long sell tail on this, which I don't like. Bit of an inverse hammer almost. But that said, it is on top of basically it broke through the resistance and turned it into support. It came back, retested it, and moved to the upside. This actually tells me it is going to move to the upside. So I'm not going to fall short until it actually breaks through the existing trend that it's on. So for me, this is heading to the long side, and it's looking like a decent long trade at the moment. Where are we? Aussie dollar, euro, Japanese yen. I don't have much of a call on this at the moment, apart from maybe a sell, because it does seem to be breaking through this level here. So most likely it's going to be a sell, which means the Great British Pound, Japanese yen will probably follow suit. Bitcoin is a sell, in my opinion, but it's moving on the weekend, so it's difficult to say. You know, you've got this bullish run here, bit of a flag pattern, which normally resolves to the upside and gives you that upward momentum. But it really is struggling to get there at the moment. So for the time being, I would call it short down to this level. Maybe it's going to break long again, and when it breaks up, it's going to break heavily to the upside if it continues at bullish run. That bullish run looks strong, and it looks like a flag pattern. So in the long run, bullish. In the short term, a bit of a correction maybe down to these levels here. I'm hoping for a correction down to the 70,000. That'll be great for just about everyone. Then New Zealand dollar, US dollar is my other trade of the week. I mean, if I look at this, it's crossed through this so nicely, straight up. There's no long downtails here. This is just a middle body undecided candle. Looks to me like it's going to move to the upside as well. So that's bullish as well. So two trades of the week, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, Aussie dollar, US dollar, but you shouldn't check both trades because they're both almost the same. Great British Pound, Aussie dollar is also long. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, that to me looks a little bit short, but it is breaking through the trend resistance and could be heading to the upside. But I'm just looking at that long tail, that body there, and it hasn't cleared this trend resistance nicely. It is in a bit of a downtrend, and it's below this level here. So I would say perhaps a sell still on that one. US dollar is sort of US dollar one sort short. I mean, definitely short in the sense that it's come out of that resistance level. It's broken through the support level. It's left you with a huge tail down here. I would say this is most certainly a short trade to the downside. One US dollar is most likely a short. Then Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, also short. Look at that big tail up into his hammer coming down, pointing to the downside. It hasn't broken this trend support yet, but I believe it will. Euro dollar, Canadian dollar, not much going on here. It's a very undecided scenario here. And then a euro Aussie dollar, pretty much in a flat line. Let's just have a look at euro Canadian dollar. We've done that. And then one JPY is short. Look at that, straight down into the support. Now what you got to watch out for is that it doesn't give you a green candle out of here going to the upside next week. But if you look at the week overall, that's an engulfing candle. It's engulfing the previous candle. It's red all the way down. It's on a weekly. This is telling me that she's most certainly going to want to carry on going short, probably break through this level and head on down. So the one JPY definitely looking like a short trade. That's my calls on the weekly scenario as I see it for the week. And I'm just putting my ugly mug back on the picture here so that you can see me. That's where I see the week going. A lot of traders are panicking. A lot of traders are saying the markets are going to crash and everything's going to go down. Guys, don't forget that's very much a supermarket mentality. When something's too expensive in the market, it means it's really good. And when it's too cheap in the market, it normally means it's really bad. It's not like when you go to the supermarket, when something's expensive, you leave it behind, and when something's cheap, you buy lots of it. That's not how it works in the markets. Normally, that will kick you in the butt. It normally works against you. And the reason for that is the market's made up of traders. It's made up of human beings. I had a comment the other day once again about the market just being made up of algorithms and the market just being made fractal, and it's all about maths. And it's not, guys. It really isn't. Before computers, people traded with pens and pencils, man. And yes, the market's efficient. I agree there. Market's a very efficient place. But it's efficient because it's designed in such a way that people buy from people as human beings. For a market to be efficient, someone's got to be wrong. For a market to be efficient, there's got to be a willing buyer and a willing seller. There's got to be human beings behind it. It's not efficient if all the robots were running it and everybody had the same information. Then it would just be a big zero, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be efficient. Get your mind around the fact that it's not a bunch of squiggly lines, that it is about human beings. And when you see those lines moving, and when you're looking for that liquidity, you're looking for what the other human beings are doing in the market. Generally, the more important ones, the ones with the bigger amounts of money. Guys, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you with the analysis for the week. For all the members, you're going to get the daily trade of the day every single day, my trades, what I'm doing, so that you can have a look and see what you're doing and if it matches up. If you want to join as a member, just hit the button below and you'll get that every single morning, every single day as an additional bit of information. And then, of course, if you want a free Forex book, drop down to the description. There is one there for you as well. If you want a funded account, there's also a link for you there on that too. So guys, thanks for watching. Until the next one, don't forget to come back for the live show Tuesday. Tuesday, I've moved the time to 11 o'clock GMT +2, a little bit up. It was at 9, then at 10, now at 11. I'm just trying to see what time suits better for that particular session. The Thursday session is at 1430 GMT +2. I will add more live shows when we get more concurrent viewers on the live shows. As it stands at the moment, it's really not big enough for that, so we'll see how that goes. But please join us and let's make it big, a little bit bigger. Let's make it worthwhile to add more live shows to the thing. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Till the next one, cheers, ciao, and bye.